Oh, hi there, big boys. Welcome to my review of Deep Ones for the Nintendo Switch. This game's weird. I don't know if I can recommend it or not. I really don't. I know it's. I normally would like to give a quick over the first few seconds, but I'm not sure. The thing is, the first thing I notice is that the art style is very ZX Spectrum-y, or Commodore 64-y, and I mean it works. It's not too bad. It's a distinct art style, and it certainly there are some bits which look really nice. But they're also just most of the time it looks really just like, ugh, why am I playing this game? It looks gross. But sometimes you have it doesn't in fact look quite pretty. But I mean the art style's not really the main problem with this game. The main problem with this game is the controls, and to be honest, the overall game, the gameplay isn't. It's really bad. Well, it's not always bad. It's good. Okay, let's talk about the controls first. This is my main problem with the game. I don't know if there's a problem with just a Switch port, or if it's a problem with all the versions of the game. But the Switch port, well, the Switch controls are awful. You jump, and if you're lucky, you'll jump where you want to go because the jumping patterns is really strange, and it doesn't even respond to all inputs. And same with shooting. You can't shoot while in the air, which is a massive pain. And I'm going to give a little bit of spoiler here, but by this point you're probably not interested in the game anyway. I've probably put you off unless you really like these graphics. Basically, there's a bit where you get a big sword, and then you can use your short sword to sword people, and you get like a big dash thing. But similarly, that has the same problem, but even worse. It's like impossible to actually, like, you press it, and it either won't do it for a few seconds and then do it, or it will just not do it at all. And it's really, like, if you jump in the air then press the shoot button, it won't shoot until you're on the ground, then it will shoot. As it feels a bit like, it feels like, I don't know if they use this in making Unity, probably not, but if they made it with Unity, it feels like they've put all of their stuff in fixed update and not update, meaning that instead of like inputs being executed every frame, they get executed every like couple frames or whatever it is. I'm not sure exactly, but similar to that. It seems like that because it's not smooth at all, and there's only two buttons really that are used. There's only jumping and shooting, so really they shouldn't have had much trouble, making them all fit together well. I don't know, it's weird, and especially the bit with the sword. It was so horrible to play as that, and I had literally. I mean, I haven't beaten the entire game. I've been playing it for I don't know 2 hours today, maybe 3. I don't know, but well, this is a bit we'll get to in a minute about the difficulty, but I'm about halfway through the game, but then I just got to a bit where you get a sword, and once you get to this bit, I've just done a painfully hard boss battle, really hard, along with some really painful sections earlier in the game, but we'll get to those. And we get given a sword, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, a new mechanic halfway through the game, interesting, nice to break up the gameplay, but it's terrible. The segment is literally like a 10-minute arena section where you just have to kill a load of people with swords, and if you die once, you have to go straight back to the start, and it's really easy to die because there's no way to regenerate health once you've lost a point of health. You've only got 3 of them. Well, this section you've got 5, but that's I think you lose it afterwards. I wouldn't know. I haven't got to that bit. And it's like it doesn't even work. I press the square button, and you'd think it'd be an instant kill with a sword or something like that because that would make sense, or at least cause some sort of knockback, something like that. But no, they still stay there. Meaning you attack them, then they attack you, then you attack them, and then they're dead, and then you've lost 2 points of health, and you got to do that like 20 times. I don't get the point of that. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe you're meant to like attack them and dodge out of the way, but the controls are just so awful that it's impossible to do that. It's my main problem with the game is the inputs are just really strange. And from what I can see, I've seen some playthroughs on the internet. It seems like the controls aren't as bad. I don't know if it's just me and with the Switch or what's going on, but it feels. I don't know. I mean, my Joy-Cons are connected to my Switch. They're not like, it's not like I'm running docked with Joy-Cons out of the box or whatever. But so I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the difficulty. The game is so strange regarding difficulty. The first section of the game is probably the hardest section. Well, the third or second hardest bit in the game. The first like proper jumping thing where it's just so you got to get it exactly right. And if you fall off a ledge, you can't hit the jump button to do like a jump mid-air and hope you get it. It's just you got to die and try again. It's like another 2 minutes. It's just, it's weird. I thought the problem is, as I was playing the game, I thought there were some bits I really enjoyed. Like legit, I actually was like, this is quite good. It feels a bit like I'm playing a retro platformer. Like I've gone back in time and the game feels fun to play. But it's, there are some interesting ideas at points, but then right after you get like an annoying segment which takes ages to do. Basically, this game shouldn't have had combat, I think. If this game didn't have combat and was just a platformer, I seriously think it would be better. I know it would be more sort of generic, I guess, but it's just platforming doesn't the platforming doesn't feel good, I guess, but it feels better than the combat does. And this is really, I can't get over the fact that you can't jump and shoot. That's such a simple thing. I don't see why you can't do that. And I guess you could argue, oh, but it will break some of the shooting bits. But it's like, if the player's got enough skill to carry that out and execute that, then surely that's not a problem. I don't get it. Okay, and yeah, there are some bits which were quite fun, quite easy, and then right after you get a stupidly difficult bit, like the one boss fight, painful, it was like a bullet hell game all of a sudden, and I just don't know. But yeah, I'm about halfway through in about 2-3 hours, but I reckon, you know, you could probably speed run it in like an hour and a half or something, but maybe an hour. I mean, I'm about, if the thing is, there were some segments, and like, there's also a lack of checkpoints as well. Like, at one point, I did a boss fight, no checkpoint until afterwards. I was like, Then there was like another annoying section you had to go through first, and then you get a checkpoint. So that would took me at least an hour just to do that, but maybe 45 minutes if I was being nice to the game. But that's not good. I feel like maybe they're trying to do the old school difficulty, you know, which is fine. That would fine if it's the art style and all. But then the problem with that is that the rest of the game is really easy. So it's certain sections where they get really hard. The story is non-existent. Your car breaks and then you go into like a big sea and then you get scared and then Cthulhu comes out or something. That seems to be what I can gather, given the name. I haven't seen that bit. I'm not going to bother to finish the game. I mean, I got halfway through and I think that's good enough for a review because I don't want to play any more of this game and I don't know how to. I'm at a point where I don't know how to progress. But I guess that's fine. I tried. I mean, I got halfway. I don't know. So what else? Yeah, the sound effects are, well, very similar to the art style. Let's just say that. What else is there? So, I think we've covered it all. Basically, if you like, well, this is the thing. I can't even really recommend it if you like platformers because it doesn't feel good to play platforming-wise either. Okay, I can only recommend this game if you really like those old school ZX Spectrum, you know, old school retro games where they're painfully hard at points, you know, and they've got like a really weird looking art style. Well, because that's all they could do back then, but you know, if you like those sort of games, maybe you'll like this because of the fact, you know, it's going to make you have a bit of nostalgia, I guess. But if you actually, you know, like video games, maybe don't play this one. I don't know. At least don't play it on Switch, apparently. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. I'd like to play it on a different console just to see what it's like, to see if the controls are as bad. It feels like there's a sort of glitch with it or something. Also, I did get a crash at one point, so that's good. Also, the brightness is way too low, and I've put my brightness on the highest. It's still way too low that I can barely see anything sometimes. But other times it's like bulbous right in your eyes. So I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it really for this game. And this is probably one of my longest reviews, but this is the thing, it's really difficult to talk about this game because I'm not sure what I think about it entirely. I don't know. All I know is that if you like old school looking games like this, it's worth a try, maybe. If you don't like, if you're looking for a platformer or like an action platformer game, do not play this game. The inputs are not good enough for that. The level design is a bit too painful for that. I don't know. It's just it's a nice idea. I like the art style. I don't really like it, but I like the idea of it. I just don't like the controls. They're gross, and I don't like the overall gameplay. Really, the gameplay just doesn't feel good to play. But yeah, that's my review of the game I've now forgotten the name of. What is it called? Deep Ones for the Nintendo Switch and other consoles. Yeah, I don't know. That's the game though. Longest review probably, but it's difficult. I don't regret playing it because it means I get to do this review, I guess, and I can try and put people off the game, which sounds sad, but I don't know. It's just I can't recommend it. It's just really difficult to play, and not because it's hard, because it's just infuriating and doesn't feel responsive. Anyway, thanks for watching, big boys. I see you at a point in time, and bye.